We begin a case that hits the lowest point in the life of this little black boy. I think it was old Shakespeare who said tragedy is the best teacher. In that case, yous can start calling me Professor Penguin.
The Case Files of Philip Penguin.
The Coptic Caper. Chapter 1. Bast is a feline's best friend. And trust me, they ain't got many. The scene is a storage room in the world-famous Chicago Museum. Thanks to Howard Otter and Lord Carraven's discovery of King Tut's tomb, it's also the pride of Chi-Town's intellectual set. So where else would you display one of the biggest finds in all of Egyptian history? In a large dark room, filled with Coptic crypts and bric-a-brac, we spot a bespectacled, tweed-clad Tweety Boyd of about 50, prying open a large wooden crate.
Oh, Laurel Stanley, my boy, you're getting too old for this kind of manual labor. But who else could Livingstone trust with this assignment? After all, what's in this crate is priceless. I say priceless. Huzzah! There, that's got it.
All the sweating and grunting is forgotten as this mug removes the Excelsior. Then his face lights up like the Great White Way at midnight.
It's magnificent, extraordinary. Oh, you, my cat-like friend, are everything Dr. Livingstone said you were and more. Who would believe it? A statue of Bast from the Southern Kingdom, in such pristine condition, it looks almost as if it was carved yesterday. When your twin sister from the Northern Kingdom arrives, our names will go down in history. Eh? Oh, who's there? I say, speak up. Hey, has there been some mistake? Is this wing of the museum closed to the public presently? Oh, it's you. It's jolly good to see you. But our appointment is not for 2 hours yet. What is that look in your eye? Are you anxious about the upcoming dinner?
Come to me, my beauty.
In this job, you're witness to a lot of bad breaks. This scene was particularly heartbreaking because I was responsible for it.
Who's the old frog at the end of the hospital bed, praying and crying her eyes out?
That's Robert Frog's mother. The doctor says she has not left his hospital bedside since they wheeled him in.
It looks kind of peaceful lying there. Don't he, Lieutenant Monster?
It's called a coma, Otis. And I'm the fool who put him there.
Look, Phil, I didn't mean to imply...
Imply what, Sergeant Otis? That an innocent frog is lying in a hospital bed because some brain-dead penguin detective didn't have enough sense not to drive drunk? Well, you don't gotta imply it. I'm saying it.
Hey, it was an accident. It could happen to anyone. He's getting the best care.
Just as Lieutenant Monster said that, the old lady at the end of the bed stopped crying and approached us slowly with tears streaming down her wrinkled old kisser.
I think I recognize you, young man. You're the hero detective who stopped that terrorist last night. At least, that's what the papers say.
I wouldn't call myself much of a hero.
No need to be modest with me. I'm just an old frog who can't hop that high anymore. See that frog laying in the hospital bed there? He is my only son. Do you know anything about my son?
I'm sorry, I don't even know his name.
No reason why you should. He's special to no one but me. My poor Robert. You see, he did not have enough pull with the chief of police to hit some innocent animal with his car while drunk and not even spend the night in jail. No, not my Robert.
Philip Penguin has done a lot for this city and this country.
You don't have to tell me, Lieutenant. Just like everyone else, I've read the exploits of the great Philip Penguin. They say he fought for his country against the Kaiser. They say he fought for his city against the bootleggers. They say he is a big hero who always defends the little guy. But that leaves me with just one question, you see.
Then she looked me right in the eye and hit me with a question that will take me to the big sleep.
Where was this hero when my son needed him?
Ugh! That old dame's slap was the most painful moment of my life. She was not particularly strong, but the sting of truth was giving her the power of Superman.
Otis, will you get her out of here?
When Otis goes to lead her out, she starts shrieking and crying like a mug being strapped to old Spocky.
My son!
Come on, lady, you
Who
crossed the
wants
line.
my son? I won't leave!
I wiped the spit from my beak, some tears from my eyes, and then said, Otis, knock it off. She should stay. I'll leave.
If you say so.
Phil, I don't know what to say.
Nothing to say, Cookie. To me, anyway. Then I turned to the mother weeping over her son's body and said, Ma'am, I'm so sorry.
No! You don't get to make this better! You don't get closure! You don't deserve it!
Then a voice comes over the intercom and saves me like the ring bell does a rubber-legged prizefighter.
Lieutenant Monster, an emergency has occurred at the Chicago Museum. Repeat, Lieutenant Monster immediately needed at the Chicago Museum.
Cookie took charge like a guy born to lead.
Otis, Phil, with me. Let's go now. No gold bricking, we got work to do.
With that, we raced down the hallway towards the exit, but ringing in my ears were the last painful bitter words of a grief-stricken mother.
Go on! Play hero! Wreck somebody else's life! But don't forget my son! Never forget my son!
On that score, she had nothing to worry about. Lieutenant Monster, Sergeant Otis, and I arrived at the Chicago Museum. As we entered the Egyptian room, there was a flurry of activity. CSI photogs, lab guys, all over the place. The crime scene looked to me like an anthill in the middle of Central Park.
We better get a look at that body before some evidence is accidentally destroyed.
Lieutenant Monster took charge of the boys in blue while I approached the stiff. The blood that poured from the old Tweety boy's throat had dried and pooled a bit near the head. While I knelt down to get a closer look-see, one of the CSI guys says to me,
Penguin, what we have here is definitely a murder. You see the 3 wounds on his neck?
Yeah.
They could have not have been self-inflicted.
Are you sure about that? There are plenty of sharp instruments around here, from spears to daggers. Couldn't he have used one of those to off himself?
We have not found any of the victim's blood on any of the weapons.
One thing that's obvious about this guy is he's a bleeder.
Another thing, I took a closer gander at the cuts on his neck with this magnifying glass. I spotted what looked like ragged edges. I think these cuts were made by claws.
Otis, have the Moore boys verify that. Then get the results to London at Phil's office as soon as possible.
You got it, boss.
While we was conversing, a well-dressed otter walked up, as nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory.
It's awful, dear me. It's so awful. How could something like this... Pardon me, I hiccup when I'm nervous. How could something like this have happened? How will you ever explain it to Dr. Livingstone?
Hey, buddy. You want to start from the beginning and tell us what you're mumbling about?
Oh, officer, my name is Howard Otter. I am an archaeologist.
If you is the Howard Otter, you're not just any archaeologist. You're the mug who dug up old King Tut himself.
Lord Carehaven helped a lot, but yes, that's me.
This is Lieutenant Monster, and I'm Philip Penguin.
The famous Philip Penguin? Good sir, you're the exact man I need. May I require your services to recover the stolen statue and protect its mate when it arrives on our shores? Money is certainly no object.
Right now I'm helping my pal here with this MITA investigation.
Tut, old man. The two cases are definitely connected. So I ask again, can I count on you?
Why don't you start from the beginning and fill us in?
Yes, quite right. Sorry about that. Getting the cart before the horse, I say. Dr. Livingstock and his able assistant, Laura Stanley, discovered for the first time in history these twin statues of Bast. They are in pristine shape from the period when the Bast was worshipped as two separate gods. One a warrior god and the other fertility god. This was before the unification of the northern and the southern kingdoms of Egypt. The only two from that particular period of time to have ever been unearthed.
A dingus like that would bring a lot of simoleons in the black market, right?
Undoubtedly.
Let me guess. That's why this guy was bumped off. Your statue is now missing, and you want I should find it while protecting the other one.
Certainly, Lord Carraven and I are throwing a giant gala tonight here at the museum to celebrate the find. All of Chicago's high society is to attend, and there will be live entertainment. If you agree to take the job, you will be in attendance. I will introduce you to Livingstock. He will tell you when and where the second Bast will arrive. Then you can make your plans.
I get $30 a day plus expenses. 20% of the value of the missing statue when I get it back.
How about we pay you $10,000 upon recovery and call it even?
Pally, you got yourself a deal.